What do you do for a living?
Uh,
Or what did you do for a
I
living?
did. I'm a minister, and I was a chaplain at the state capitol under
Okay.
3 governors, and
Excellent.
starting with Jesse Ventura, who
Oh, no
was
kidding.
pretty renowned. Yeah, and we became good friends
Excellent.
as a result of
Excellent.
his illness in North
Yeah.
Memorial Hospital.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, no, and
So
spending all my time walking from office to office in the state capitol, and all hard floor marble.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
many years?
15.
15 years.
Yeah.
Well, now walking is an important thing.
Yeah.
How is walking now?
I can walk less than a city block, and then I'm in such pain, it's just like somebody is grabbing my lower spine and just squeezing it, and it gets just excruciating.
That something that's grabbing your spine is actually literally true. Your own spine is grabbing your spinal cord, and we have a name for that. We call that spinal claudication, that your spine gets squeezed, spinal cord gets squeezed, and the symptoms you're describing are very typical, that after a while, when you walk or put stress on the spine, that you have the symptoms you just described. How long have you had these symptoms?
I've had scoliosis since I was the only kid in my high school gym class that couldn't touch my toes, and I didn't know why. But later on, as time went on, I had such lower back pain that I was taking lots of aspirin and lots of ibuprofen, and then I ended up with kidney problems. So then the kidney people at Mayo Clinic said, well, I might have to do dialysis. Long story short, that's the pain that I've dealt with for 40 years, easy. I'm 71, and so I think, easily 40 years.
Yeah.
It
So, and it's,
worse,
over the
worse.
last few years, it's getting worse.
The worst, yeah.
1 to 10, how bad is the pain can be when it's bad?
When I'm sitting down, probably a 2. It's when I stand or start to walk, it just zip goes right up to an 8 or more, whatever. It's excruciating. It's just like I need to sit down.
Yeah. Can you live like this?
I can if I sit in a chair all day long.
But when you sit in chair all day long, your body deconditions, your heart literally loses its capacity to pump blood and so on. People who don't walk in your age group, they end up with cardiovascular heart problem, and then not walking is the worst thing you can do in your age group. But so what I hear that only way you could live with that is just sitting around and doing nothing. Is that about right?
That sums it up.
So, this has been going on for so long. Let's start with the first doctor who told you what's going on and what we can do for it.
Well, my chiropractor took a snapshot and he said, "Boy, you got problems. You got an S curve goes this way, and then you twist the S and it goes that way." He said, I won't tell you, I won't lie to you if you got a complicated back."
Yeah.
But he said, and so I would getting epidural shots from a certain clinic. They sent me to their doctor at Summit. And he looked at it and at the x-rays, and he said, "Nah, I'm going to send you." So he sent me to Twin City Orthopedic.
So
And
one
then-
level higher. You were going from one level to more expertise to more expertise. So, Twin City Ortho, what happened there?
Well, and he was highly recommended, the person at Twin City Orthopedic. So when he was like, "Nah," he
Too
said, "I
much.
tell you what, I'm going to refer you to Mayo Clinic."
Okay.
So I went to Mayo Clinic with lots of hopes, but still understanding my stuff is not good. My chiropractor told me this is not good. So when I got
the
there,
first surgeon said, "You have a big problem. It's too big for me,
exactly.
and you need to go to yet one level higher."
Yep.
And
So
that one level higher was where?
Mayo Clinic.
Mayo Clinic.
Yep.
World-renowned Mayo Clinic.
Yep.
Okay.
And I went to the doctor that the Twin City Orthopedic referred me to. He
Okay.
said, "This is the guy that can handle your problem."
Yeah.
So
The highest expert in Mayo Clinic.
So yeah, and so then took snapshots, and after he did that, he said, "Well, we can do something with your neck to straighten that out a little bit."
So
And
let
I
me
said,
tell
"But
you,
it's my lower back where the problem
did you have any
is."
neck problem?
Yes, it's because I'm one
But
leg
not as
shorter,
bad
the
as
other's
the
not
lower
shorter,
back.
but it's the lower back is where the pain is.
So let me tell you what I think what happened. He looked at your lower back and neck. The neck was easier to fix. And so he wanted to fix something for you that risk versus benefit is not tremendously on the risk side.
And as I
But
thought
your
about it,
symptoms are in
I
much
said,
shape.
"Doctor, it doesn't make sense. Why do we want to do surgery, get the neck back in line when the whole problem is the lower back that's
You know,
causing
in
it?"
certain situations we make it, but if it's more symptomatic.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is what we do. So he didn't do anything wrong. He was weighing risk versus benefit. So he went to the most renowned place
Yep.
in the United States, to the most specialist
That
in
is
that
correct.
place.
That is
and
correct.
He looked at your back, but he wanted to fix your neck. Is that right?
Not to be humorous about it, but that's pretty much the picture.
No, but that
Very
is,
clearly.
That is
That is
humorous.
exactly. I said, but doc, why don't we do the lower back? That's where the pain
What did
is.
he
And he
say?
said,
So let me show you.
he
what
looked
is
like he had
going-
back trouble.
Yeah. Let me show you what
So
is
long
going on.
story short, he said, nothing is 100%. You could expect, it doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're worse. Gave me kind of all those, and then he dropped the issue.
Let's look at what's going on. Let's get a close shot on this. You have a double scoliosis, and it's actually not trivial. It is about 30 to 40 degree and in two areas. And many of those nerves are being pushed at multiple levels. So, and as well, I think what can be very dangerous is that your spine as well twisting. Look at that here. It's twisting about 30, 40 degree to the side, which make it really difficult sometimes to deal with. And as you see, this has to go straight down. Yours doesn't.
Wow.
Now, we can go back again. Now, this is what I generally treat. Here in the Spires, but we generally treat when things are difficult. There's not a month I don't get somebody with your story from major medical centers that are told it's too much, too dangerous, and so on. And we have a track record having done hundreds and hundreds of these difficult cases. Obviously, no surgery comes free of risk or guarantee, but with our minimal invasive technique, we can do a surgery that's 12 hours in 2 hours, or something that has a gallon of blood loss with few hundred cc of blood loss, and it has all to do with the instrument and the technique that we are using, and not less with my personal abilities as a surgeon. Obviously, I have done many of these surgeries, so I am experienced in doing that. You are neither oldest nor the worst scoliosis I have treated with this situation. So I use that term. They were handing you like a hot potato from one level of expertise to the higher level of expertise.
And each time I went back to report it to my chiropractor, they rejected me. He said, well, okay, who's next? Long story short, he said, who you really need to go is to see a fusion inside spine. He said, check them out. And he was the guy that sent me over here.
I can take care of you. Okay, so we will take care of it. And it just, for me, it's important as well that pass the knowledge, because every single of those doctors you told me, I have offered them to come and learn this, but they're too busy for this. Now, one of our governors actually had to go to Mayo to get the surgery. Was it Governor Polenta?
Tim Pawlenty was right after Jesse Ventura, yes.
Yeah. Did you work with him as well?
Oh, yeah, it's a great friend. Yeah.
How was he doing when he was with the back pain? Did you watch him to be suffering the back pain?
I actually don't know that much about that he had surgery or that part of it. But I did notice that he'd sit a lot, and he was a majority leader in the House of Representatives, which I was elected chaplain there. And I noticed that he would move around and have cushion and that type of thing that was a little bit more cushiony than the average legislator. Okay. So I was aware, and when you say that now, it makes sense why he was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is exactly what we call spinal claudication. So he had the similar problem probably for different reason. There are many reasons that can lead to that symptoms, but he had probably the same problem like you're having now. The important thing is, by the time you're 50 years old, there's only 30% chance that you don't have spine problem. By the time you're 60 years old, there's only 5% chance you don't have spine problem. And by the time you're 70 years old like you are, 71. There's only 2% chance you don't have spine problem. So this is a common problem. And unfortunately, our solutions are so difficult for the spine that many patients, like in your situation, they just have to suffer and live with it. or unfortunately many times, you know, they sit around, and their heart problem get worse and they die with it rather than live with it. So I'm happy you found me.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Very good.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for the interview.